the teaching would be available to people wherever they are. They don't have to really come to some place. But there are two things which I looked at. Number one, you're saying at this point in time, this is going to be more of an IT education. Am I correct in my assumption?
Can I answer that?
Please.
All right. So it's not going to be an IT, it's an IT inclusion. Okay. So for example, if I were to take healthcare, or you're studying as a doctor, if you go to a hospital, how many of you want the old surgery which will give you 3-month recuperation time, vis-a-vis a laser-based surgery which will let you go home 3 hours down the line? As a market, you are paying that extra amount for high skills. So I need doctors who are robotic process automated experts, right? And that database is stored on the cloud, so that immediately when I have data, I'm having somebody at the back end analyze the data, and that analysis gives rise to a predictive or intuitive one. It becomes intelligence. That's your AI. When every hospital in the country is connected, you can walk anywhere if you have an ailment and get yourself done. The moment that sort of information is available, a pharmaceutical company actually launches a new drug, right? It used to take us 6 years before the drug used to actually get the permission to be out to the market. Huge amount of research, billions of dollars spent. So the drug comes to you, oh, 4,000 rupees. But now I can do research which is international and give the same drug to multiple races, different countries simultaneously and bring it out in 3 months. That becomes 10 paisa to you. Mm-hmm. So the utilization of this is so acute that you cannot ignore these technologies. If you don't have fossil fuel, what are you going to do? Fossil fuel utilization is creating the ozone depletion, it's creating problems in the cloud, it's creating pollution, and it will also be dying down. So we need to have new solution for power. Mm-hmm. So we have hydroelectric power plants, we have coal plants, we have so many where you are actually having a lot of dust and pollution made. Just a couple of days ago, an Indian in the Silicon Valley has discovered what you call a boombox. It's a size 7 by 7, I mean inches by 7 inches, and you can extrapolate and make it size-wise. You put it into your garden, it provides all the electricity that you need for your home. You have solar panels, and the solar panels are generating the heat. Heat converts to their light energy, and then it converts to chemical. You store it, use what you want, and the rest you pass it on to the grid. So every aspect of this technology is actually creeping upon you. You know, you go to buy something, you stand at the end of the queue and you pay through your credit card. You basically have all the person who's running at the retail store, so it's data entry. That data entry gets up. So what we're doing is, it's billions of bytes of data that is being analyzed real time. While I talk to you in a minute, there are about 7 billion bytes of messages. Mm-hmm. And what we are able to do now with technology is capture the data and analyze it. This is what Google does. This is what Amazon does. So the way we're teaching basically has to bring in new knowledge. Mm. So in the classroom, we're saying use your cell phone, use your, information. It's a flipped classroom where you don't actually ask the student known bytes of info, but says, this is what is available. What do we do with this problem? So case studies and used case-based learning is what we've done. So we have launched a large number of courses for various programs where we use that methodology, but we need, and we are willing to actually work with all of you to faculty train so that faculty can now respond, and I think it's an ongoing learning process. So for a long answer for a short question.
No, I think we can give a clap to the nice answer that she gave. And I'm assuming there is no more other question, but ma'am, last one.
Yes.
Have we tried to process, there is a lot being talked about the ethical usage of the technology.
Yes.
Because particularly in Indian context, when we have a huge population and machines replacing people, and particularly another keep in mind that our population is on the tech highway, is on the lower side. We are still yet to go on as your data showed. Right. So somewhere or the other, number one, this is not a tested thing. Number two, it may not be able to deprive, existing Indian population to really be able to get employment. So are there some of these questions also pondered over when we are propagating this technology?
Very, very relevant question. The only thing is we too are not going to be able to give the answers right now, and that's the reason why we need to debate and think things through, because everybody has to be gainfully employed. You cannot just give money to a person and say, live happy. We have found that in other countries when there was a dole system and no work, even then there was a degeneration of ethics and behaviors, etc., because they did not feel useful to society, they did not feel, so that psychology of actually earning something because you have contributed is a very critical factor. Life is going to become much better. Say, for example, about the first industrial revolution, people used to have horse-drawn carts, or they used to basically rickshaw pullers, manual human labor. Then came the steam engine. So people said, hey, what happens to all my work and all my people, my horse farm, because I don't. It changed, there was time. Then there was these people who used to have, lamps, and we never had electricity. Then came electricity, and that whole industry moved off. But then we found new ways and new jobs. Then we had the clerks and the typewriters, etc. And then came the computers. It changed the way we worked, but more people actually learned how to live and get more employment opportunity. Likewise in this, it's in the cusp. We are worried because we can't see clearly, but the changes are coming and the market is demanding it. And you will see today there is a toy store, tomorrow it disappears because he's saying 90% of my orders are coming online. So I cannot afford it. So we have to discover new ways on how we can keep people engaged, how can they contribute. It is not clear, and that's the reason why I want to sit with thought leaders like you and say, how do I see the future? Because we have 1 billion Indians, how do I keep them gainfully employed? One way we're going to make their life easy, but the other way they feel threatened with the technology as well as the machines that come to be. We're now saying you work with machines, that's fine, but if the machine is going to replace you, then what do you do? So these questions are still open-ended and we look for answers. That's the reason why I put up my cell phone, email ID in that scenario. Sure. Happy to share with you because we don't have all the answers. Because one is an industry body and then the other is an economy. In between the two, the bridge is the educational system. Absolutely. So in India, the legacy will still run. I have web developers who want it in Hindi, somebody who wants it in Malayalam, some group of old people who are making papads in a little village have got a web developer, organized him, and then he's making, they're all earning from 500 rupees now about 10,000 to 20,000 per month. So use technology to enable, but the answers for everything, unfortunately, I don't have.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very, very honest answer.
I would like to thank Dr. Sandhya Chantala for her enlightening views. Very rightly said, technology, true, has taken a toll, but it's the time to decide that we shake hands with it and move forward with it or without it.